Hey guys, does the lug sail have a bad tack and a good tack, or is that just a myth? Let's find out. To make things interesting, we're going to look at difference in speed, pointing ability, different conditions, light winds, strong winds, and see how it performs. I'm going to show you a few occasions where I sailed side by side with Pedro on the Goat and Bruno on the topper, and we'll see if we can spot any differences in performance between good tack and the bad tack.
Let's start with this situation where me and Bruno just came back to rejoin Pedro. Pedro's boat and mine have the boom and sail rigged on the opposite sides of the mast, so when I'm on the good tack, he's on the bad tack, and vice versa. So we are all on the same heading here, and look how easy I pull away once I get my sail in some clean air. Look how easy it was to overtake the topper here. And let's just speed things up a bit. After just 30 seconds, I had gained around 50 meters lead while keeping the same heading. Sometime later, and this time I'm pointing slightly higher than the topper and still slowly increasing my lead. Notice that Pedro is sailing on the bad tack and he can either point as high or sail as fast as we can. And one more example before we change tack. Again, Cabra Cega is not able to keep the same heading nor keep up with the topper nor me. And yes, I know Zé sitting on the bow might not do wonders for speed, but we are about to tack, so let's wait before we jump into conclusions. So, now Pedro will be sailing on the good tack and I will be sailing on the bad tack. Of course, Bruno couldn't care less which tack he's on, but let's have a look. I try keeping up with them, but it's obvious that I can no longer point as high as the topper, nor keep up with any of them regarding speed either. Let's speed things up, and they just keep pulling away more and more. Here, Pedro had already overtaken the topper, and as I fall behind even further, it's now their turn to come back to rejoin me. Now, let's have a look at the difference between the two goats. Pedro on the good tack can easily outpace me here. But once we tack, the table turns. Here I will actually give way to Bruno, go around the topper and then rejoin already ahead of Pedro.
Well, this was in light winds. Let's have a look at stronger winds. By the way guys, if you haven't done so yet, subscribe to my channel. It won't cost you a thing, but it will help me. Also, if you like my videos, give it a thumbs up. It will help YouTube share the videos and the content with more people. If you don't like it, just give it a thumbs down and tell me why you didn't like it. Maybe I can improve. If you really dislike it, press that thumbs down twice, okay?
Okay, here Bruno left the marina well ahead. We are both trying to point as high as possible since we need to beat a strong current. I'm on the good tack and notice how Bruno is already quite a lot to leeward. By the time I have to tack, I have pretty much caught up with Bruno already. Let's see now if I can keep up the same performance on the bad tack. And it doesn't matter if he has only the mainsail or not, as this is a constant on both tacks. It's immediately clear that now I can't keep up the same heading without losing ground. After only a couple of minutes, look how much to leeward I had to go to keep up. Although in strong winds, the speed difference between tacks doesn't seem as bad.
It seems obvious to me that there is a good tack and a bad tack on a lug sail. But why? Well, this is only my opinion, but
have a look at this photo. In this area, Pedro's sail is nicely shaped and actually working as a sail. Now on my sail, this area is simply useless on this tack. Anything up to a few inches after the mast just doesn't work as a sail anymore. And so, in this case, I believe that on the bad tack I'm sailing with less 1 square meter of active sail, or 10 square feet.
So, does the lug sail suck? Absolutely not. For what I can see, the good tack more than makes for the bad tack. Now, if I was going on a really long trip and I knew that I would be sailing mostly on a certain tack, I would rig my sail on the proper sides to take advantage of the good tack. If that's your thing, it might pay to think ahead and rig your boat, like all the fittings, in a way that you can actually swap sides if you have to. On Forager, all my fittings are symmetrical, so I'm probably sure in 10 to 15 minutes I can just rig the sail on each side of the mast with no problem. I'm by no means an expert on these kind of sails, or any other kind of sails for that matter, but this is what I have observed over the last 6 months sailing my Goat. If you guys know any ideas or any tips on how to minimize the bad tack effect, or if you just disagree with me, just leave it on the comments below and let me know what you think. I will be making a video trying to find out exactly how higher can we point on the good tack, speed differences and such, but for that I'm going to need Bruno's help and some favorable weather. Until then guys, stay safe and I'll see you next week.